Welcome to Arty Chats, Kuns geselsies. My name is Robert, and I've hijacked Marianah's show for a very specific purpose. We always hear her talking about theatre and what's happening around theatre, but we never hear what she actually does or did in theatre, except now and again a snippet of this and that. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to interview Marianah so that you get a better idea of who she is, where she comes from, and what she does. Welcome, Marianah.
It's a pleasure, Robert, to be here with my hijacker and husband.
So, you've been in theatre a long time. Tell us, where did it all start for you?
You know, I think it started for me when my mother took my brother and I. We were 5, 6 years old in Pretoria to the City Hall. In the City Hall, they were doing Hansel and Gretel. So it's a story of Hansie and Gretel.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and I loved it. I fell in love with performing and performers. And of course, in those days, we only had radio. So I listened on the radio to all the stories, and as I grew up, of course, and I was a bit adventurous in my life. I became a mother at age 18, so couldn't be performing a lot, but was in school productions, you know, various. And then in the 1970s, early 70s, actually late 60s, late 60s, in Edenvale, we did Dick Whittington, that one stands out. We did other plays as well. I was with the Edenvale Dramatic Society, and then I moved to Port Elizabeth, and in this place, I managed to perform what is the Athenaeum Little Theatre, now was the Ford Little Theatre then, and I was on that stage in 1973, and I was in the Opera House, on the Opera House stage. We did an Afrikaans play called Patricia, I think. Actually diverse. It was diverse. But what stands out for me is how things have changed from then to now. And when the NAF started National Arts Festival in Grahamstown, of course there was no word that we could relate to Makanda, we couldn't just go and pay to see a performance with John Carney and Winston and Sona, and the one that stands out is Sizwe Bandi is Dead. Mm. And we had to, everything had to be done under the table. We couldn't be seen together, but we could go watch their performance as an invited audience. And that, to me, was, it was wrong as far as I was concerned. But over the years, and it was in PE where I actually became far more able to act with different races. Mm. And that, I feel, has become, the performing arts have become so inclusive and liberated that now you go to Makhanda and to the 50th NAF year, 50th celebration, and there are lots of Indian people, black people, colored people, the Khoisan stories and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's quite amazing. But yes, I managed to be in quite a few musicals, in some Afrikaans plays, dramas, stage dramas. And it's been fun here in Port Elizabeth and also different from the 1973 to now, where we are at 1924.
2024.
2024. I mean 2024. You see, I am a granny. I'm blonde too, and I have got an excuse to forget and to speak wrong.
But you mentioned, going invited guests. I remember going to Godspell in Johannesburg, which was Des and Dawn Lindbergh's production. And it was one of the first productions where we had mixed race on the stage. And we were all invited to go in, and as we went in the door, we paid the money underneath to the guys. And it was very strange to have the security police standing in the back while they were performing on the stage. So yes, it has changed a lot.
It has changed a lot. And of course, you yourself have been a lighting engineer, a stage manager for some big names.
Yeah, I have. But that's not about me today, it's about you. Now, at one point you went overseas.
Oh yes, 1984.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you joined the
2004, 14, 24, 40 years ago.
Yes.
I was with a Performing Arts Christian Academy, the Covenant Players. And of course we had to do our discipleship school as well as the performing arts, learn all about the performing arts, backstage, decor, acting. And yes, I was blessed to drive in a van. They call them vans, what we would call them combis.
Mm-hmm.
They call van. But we used to drive overland. We had our discipleship school and our middle of the year drama school in California. And we had to then drive to wherever we were touring. And my first tour was in Pennsylvania. And that was, for me, an amazing experience because I'd never heard of Amish people or seen Amish people. I saw them there. I saw them do their quilting. They were beautiful. It was beautiful. But also the performances we did. We were performing in schools. We were performing in churches. We were performing in old age homes. We even performed in prisons. It was such a diverse experience as well, performing for all these different audiences and of course different dynamics.
So would you say theatre in the States is different to South Africa, or was it just because you were doing a Christian theatre as opposed to normal theatre?
I think doing Christian theatre made a big difference. But what was nice, that we had also people from all over the world. So there were people from Norway, people from, even I roomed with somebody from, I think she was from Kenya. We were a diverse group of people traveling and of course spending our time together, learning all about theatre.
Yeah. You also had, while you were traveling, you also had a very interesting experience going into Canada and coming back out again.
Yes, going into Canada, of course it was 1984 and apartheid was evil.
Yeah.
And at the border there was a black, the border.
Yeah, border control.
Border control. There was a black guy, and he saw this white South African in front of him. I don't know what he thought, but I wasn't able to go in because we forgot that I didn't have a visa for Canada.
If I'm right, you had a visa for America.
I had a visa for America.
And you were traveling with the others, and you went through the American border control. And you just sailed through the Canadian side because
Yeah,
Nobody ever
sitting
thought of
back.
asking you about, do you have a visa or aren't you American?
Exactly.
And it was only when you came back that all of a sudden you were stuck.
Exactly. When we went through, nobody blinked an eye. They didn't ask for everybody's passports and stuff. And then, but when we were going out back to, and it was at Lake Erie, you know, it was there.
Very eerie.
Very eerie. And it was very, very scary because then they wouldn't let me go back to America because I didn't have a visa
For
for Canada. And then I went from room to room to room. I think I must have held up my poor traveling mates for about 2 hours as they were moving me and making phone calls and doing. And then eventually the last person said, you can go through. You can go because I see here you've got a visa for the United States.
Yeah, they couldn't believe a white person from Africa.
Yeah, well, they all asked, my goodness, but you're white.
Now, one of your cameo roles which stands out for me was in Matilda, when you played the chef. I think you are the best chef I've ever seen in any form or any production.
It was fun. They asked me to do a few cameo roles, but the chef one was fun because the giant cake had to be eaten by Bruce.
Yeah.
The story of Matilda, if you know it. Well, if you don't, go Google it. And I had to walk in with the cake, but it was just making the character a little bit
You wouldn't eat that cake if you saw the chef.
Yes, well, the chef was wiping her nose and then, you know, and not having to say a word. And it was fun being in that show. Matilda was an amazing show to be in.
I think it is one of the best shows I have seen of Matilda. And it was put on by, then it was the GNS, Gilbert and Sullivan Society, which is now Impact.
But
Theatre.
Robin Williams, of course, was our director, and I must say, Robin Williams is my favorite director in PE, in Kabeja.
Yeah.
It's, she's brilliant, and I've been in other shows like Footloose and, I can't remember what.
You've been in many shows.
Shows that she directed, and
Yeah.
she's really good.
Now, coming up, it's a better word, is Greece. And if you want to see this cameo role, Marianah's playing a cameo role in Greece, which I know is going to be fantastic. So Greece is coming up in September, if I'm correct.
Greece is coming the end of September, beginning October. Yes, so also look on your social media, Facebook. It's on Facebook. It's under the Savoy Theatre.
Yeah. Or Impact Theatre.
Or Impact.
Yeah.
You can go to Impact or Savoy, and there's some amazing people performing in Greece as well. And it's going to be well performed by Leandi Fontini. She's going to be our director. And Rose Kaupa, who's directed many shows as well, is going to be, she's also got a cameo role. So it's nice.
So you can't miss these doyens of the theatre. Rose Kaupa and Marianah in Greece. They're going to steal the show. I can promise you that.
I hope so. Because it's a busy show as well.
Yeah.
Nice songs.
So we'll see you in the theatre. I think it's time for us to say bye-bye from Arty Chats, Kuns, Geselsies, Marianah and Robert, and we'll see you on the other side.